Okay, so last Tuesday, I had a complete meltdown. Now, not like a dramatic crying on the floor type of meltdown, more like a sit at your desk while staring at a blank PowerPoint for around 3 hours type of meltdown, which honestly kind of feels worse. And here's what happens. I have this thing where I block out my calendar if I want to schedule pretty much anything. So my gym goes into my calendar, my work appointments, and if I want to block off time for a specific task, that also goes into my calendar. Now, I'm not a super organized person, which is why I have to come up with these type of ways to be super organized. Otherwise, I would get nothing done. And so last Tuesday, I had my entire day mapped out perfectly. Tuesday is the day I don't go to the gym. I have an early morning call. And then from around 9:30 to around 1 p.m., I had scheduled some deep work blocked in my calendar. No meetings, no distractions, just me and this piece of work that I had been planning to tackle for about a week. And then that morning, I woke up absolutely zonked, like just a bad sleep, super foggy brain. My body felt heavy, just zero capacity for deep work, like zero. So guess what I did? I sat at my desk anyway, because my calendar said deep work. So clearly, that's what I needed to do, right? But 3 hours later, I had done anything but what I was supposed to do. I created some brilliant Spotify playlists, beside the point. I scrolled Instagram, researched tons of totally unrelated things, and surprise, surprise, I felt like absolute shit afterwards for wasting my entire morning. And here's the wild part. I'm a health coach. I literally help people with this stuff. And there I was, kind of frozen, unable to kind of get my head together, and treated my calendar like it was the law, right? So I sat at my desk like a fucking weirdo. So what happened? I was stuck in what I now call GPS mode. And GPS mode is killing our ability to actually function in real life. Because here's the thing, we've been sold this idea that if we just optimize everything, schedule everything, track everything, build a perfect routine, then we'll be productive. Then we'll be successful. Then we'll finally have our lives together. But what happens when life doesn't cooperate? When you're tired, you're exhausted, you had a bad night's sleep, or you get interrupted, or literally anything doesn't go according to your perfect plan. You freeze, you panic, you feel like a complete failure, and you still don't do the things you're supposed to be doing. And honestly, that's not a you problem, that's a GPS problem. So today we're exploring why rigid systems and these perfect routines are actually keeping you stuck. And more importantly, I'm giving you a completely different framework that actually works in real, messy, everyday life. First, I'll break down the difference between GPS thinking and the better approach, compass thinking. Then I'll be sharing the science behind why we get stuck. There's this concept from acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, called choice points. And it explains so much about why we do the things we do, even when we know they're not helping us. And then here's the practical bit. I'm giving you 5 strategies, things you can start doing today to switch from GPS mode to compass mode. Hopefully, by the end of this, you're going to understand exactly why your perfect system keeps failing you. And you'll have some tools to navigate your actual life, not some imaginary perfect version of it. Ready? Let's go. Hey, I'm Noemi, former queen of bad habits and corporate go-getter turned well-being coach and personal growth junkie. And in a world full of overwhelming wellness advice, we're here to cut through the noise. This is your space to master healthy habits, transform your mindset, own your well-being, and design a life you love on your terms. We're ditching the highlight reels and embracing the whole messy, imperfect journey towards becoming our absolute best selves. You're the author of your own story. So are you ready to write the next chapter? Let's go, and welcome to Unwritten Potential. Hello, my friend, and welcome to Unwritten Potential with me, Noemi. I am so happy that you're here. And first, I wanted to start with maybe explaining a little bit what I mean by GPS thinking. Think about the last time you used GPS and imagine you are driving along, following the route perfectly, and then suddenly there's roadworks, or you miss a turn, or the road is closed. What does the GPS do? It loses its fucking mind. This is something that stresses me so much when I'm driving, but it's recalculating, turn around, you're going the wrong way, just take the next turn. It's so stressful. Like it loses its shit. Like one wrong turn and it acts like the world is ending. It treats every single deviation as a failure. Maybe it's just me finding this very dramatic because I don't drive very often, but it's very, very stressful. It loses its shit. And this is what productivity culture has sold us. The perfect morning routine, the optimized schedule, the exact steps to success. Follow this route and then you'll get there. So when life inevitably doesn't cooperate, when you're tired or you're sick or something unexpected happens and you don't follow that quote unquote perfect route, you feel like you've completely failed. Now think about a compass. A compass doesn't care about the specific route. It doesn't demand you follow one particular path. It just points you towards what matters, your goal, your direction, your values. The path might twist, you might take detours, you might go around obstacles, but you're still heading in the right direction. And this isn't just some poetic metaphor. This is actually grounded in really solid psychological research. So there's this concept from acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT, called choice points. And since I've learned about it, I use it quite a bit with my coaching clients. And here's how it works. At any given moment, you have a choice. You can either move towards what matters to you, even when it's uncomfortable, or you can move away from discomfort, even when it takes you further from your goals. These are called towards moves and away moves. So towards your goals, towards what matters to you, or away from the discomfort, but also away from your goals. And here's the thing. There's often a gap between who we want to be and who we're actually being right now. That gap can feel deeply uncomfortable. So our brain, trying to protect us, makes an away move. Scrolling instead of working, snapping at someone instead of having that hard conversation, telling ourselves stories like, oh, I'll start when I feel more confident, or I'm just not a morning person. These moves protect us from discomfort right now, but they keep us trapped. They eliminate progress. They are the rigid, panicky demands of your GPS. You know that thing when you're avoiding a task and suddenly you need to organize your entire desk area? That's an away move. Your brain is like, this discomfort is too much. Let's do literally anything else. This isn't you being lazy, lacking discipline, lacking grit. It's literally how human brains work when we're uncomfortable. And the more stressed or burnt out you are, the more your brain defaults to away moves because your nervous system is in survival mode. Everything else feels like a threat. This is why your perfect routine stops working when you're tired. Your brain isn't interested in your calendar. It's interested in survival. Okay, so then what's the alternative? Well, the alternative is what ACT calls a towards move, but I like to call it a compass move. This is any action that points you back towards your values, towards who you want to be, even if it's uncomfortable in the short term. It's the voice that says, I'm moving towards doing work that matters. Or the voice that says, I'm moving towards connection. Or I'm moving towards being healthier. And the beauty of this, a compass move doesn't have to be a big move. Asking for help, starting the work for just 5 minutes, resting intentionally instead of numbing out with your phone. These are all compass moves, small but directional. They keep you heading towards what matters, even when the path looks nothing like you had planned. So when I was sitting on my desk last Tuesday, totally zoned out, staring at that blank PowerPoint, that was GPS mode. Oh, my calendar says deep work, so I must do deep work right now. If I can't do it, I have failed. A compass move would have been asking myself, okay, what matters here? I value doing good work, but right now, my brain doesn't have the capacity. What would move me towards my goal of doing good work right now? Maybe that's switching to easier admin tasks. Maybe that's going for a walk and coming back later. If you're a napper, I'm not a napper, but if you're a napper, maybe that's taking a 20-minute nap. The point isn't the perfect action. The point here is staying oriented towards what matters, even if or even when the route changes. And honestly, this framework has made me so much kinder to myself because I'm not failing when things don't go to plan. I'm just adjusting my route. So that's the theory. Now, let's make this a bit practical because understanding this is great, but you still need tools you can actually use when you're in the middle of freaking out because your day isn't going to plan. Okay, so how do you actually switch to compass mode? I've got 5 strategies for you, and these are things I use all the time, either myself or with my clients. Strategy number 1, ask better questions. So here's what I've learned as a coach. Asking the right questions shifts everything faster than any advice ever could. Before you jump to action, just pause and ask yourself one of these questions. What am I actually avoiding right now? Not the task, the feeling underneath it. Am I avoiding feeling incompetent? Am I feeling overwhelmed? Am I feeling bored? What is it? Another question is, if I wasn't afraid, what would I do differently today? Just today, not your whole life, but today. Or my personal favorite, what's one compass move I could take in the next 10 minutes? Not 10 hours, 10 minutes. What is one move that would bring me slightly closer in the right direction of travel towards my goal? You could also ask, am I treating this like a GPS, demanding the perfect route? Or like a compass, staying oriented towards what matters? That would have been a good question for me to ask last week. And finally, who do I want to be in this situation? What would that version of me do? Because honestly, sometimes the question itself is the compass move. You don't even need to answer it. Just asking it shifts your entire perspective. Strategy number 2, start ridiculously small. Because 1 degree of adjustment is still movement. You're still pointing in the right direction. Because often, once you put your trainers on, you'll go for that walk. Or once you've opened the document, you'll write the sentence. And even if you don't, you've still made a compass move. You've moved towards who you want to be and what you want to do, even if it's tiny. GPS mode says do it perfectly or don't do it at all. Whereas compass mode says, hey, any movement in the right direction still counts. Strategy number 3, notice your away moves without judgment. So when you're scrolling or you're feeling stuck, just observe. Don't judge. Don't shame yourself. Just notice. Why am I avoiding this? Oh, I'm avoiding this because I feel anxious. Oh, I'm scrolling because this feels just really hard right now. Oh, I'm snapping at people because I'm feeling overwhelmed. Awareness is the first step. You can't change a pattern that you do not see. And honestly, this one requires so much self-compassion because your instinct is to be like, oh, I'm doing this thing again. I am so fucking useless. But that's just another away move. You're avoiding the discomfort of seeing your pattern by judging yourself. Instead, just notice, oh, that's interesting. There's that passion again. That's it. That's the whole move. Strategy 4. Oh, and listen, this is so important. Support your biology, my friend. Sleep, food, movement, water, rest. When your nervous system is completely depleted, even your compass is going to stop working, right? Everything feels like a threat. Your brain cannot access the part that makes good decision if you are exhausted, stressed out. So sometimes the most important compass move isn't pushing through. It's just rest. It's going to bed early. It's a proper meal. It's going for a walk. It's canceling social engagement so you can just chill and recover. This isn't an away move. This is a towards move. You're moving towards being a person who can function, who can do good work, who can show up for the people you love. GPS mode sees rest as failure. That's the whole problem with productivity, hustle culture. Oh, you should be working, you should be productive. Instead, you have to see rest as essential, looking after yourself, taking care of yourself as essential, so you can keep moving in the right direction. All right, and last but not least, strategy number 5, and this one is probably the hardest. Accept the discomfort. You don't need to feel motivated first. You don't need to feel confident first. You don't need to feel ready. You can feel stuck and still take one small rep. You can feel anxious and still make the phone call. You can feel exhausted and still do 5 minutes of the thing. The discomfort is part of the process. It's not a sign you're doing it wrong, because that's what I have noticed in myself. The more you practice taking compass moves, even when you're feeling rubbish, the less power those feelings have over you. It's like, oh, I can feel anxious and still function. I can feel stressed out and overwhelmed and still do the thing. These two things can exist at the same time. That's freedom, my friend. All right, so let's bring this all together. If you're still here, I hope you found this useful. If you're taking one thing away, just remember productivity culture wants to optimize, schedule, and control everything to follow the perfect route. But life doesn't work like this. And the way forward isn't to wait for motivation or find the perfect path. It's to put away the GPS, pick up your compass, orient yourself towards what matters, and then take one small step in that direction, even when you still feel stuck, even when the path looks nothing like you've planned, even when you can only see one step ahead. Your compass knows the direction. So the thing you can literally start doing tomorrow, maybe next time something doesn't go to plan, just pause and ask yourself, what's one compass move I could take right now? That's it. That's your homework. If you want to go deeper on this, I've written a full article that expands on everything we talked about today. And I've also created a free worksheet called Your Personal Compass, a Choice Point Guide. It helps you identify your GPS patterns, reconnect with your values, and plan your compass moves. It's super, super powerful, very much rooted in ACT. It's all evidence-based, no BS, no toxic wellness, just practical tools for your real, messy, everyday life. You can grab it at go.unwritten.coach/25. And so what have I learned from all of this? Well, the next time my calendar says deep work, but my brain says no, I'll take one compass move instead. Close the laptop, take a walk, come back, hopefully a little more aligned. And you can too. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Unwritten Potential with me, Noemi. Now go take one tiny step towards what matters. Have a great week ahead, my friends. Bye.